I want to start off by giving our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakakadesh. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Alright, this is Matthew chapter 12, and I'm going to start at verse 36. But I say unto you that every idle word that a man should speak, they should give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou should be justified, and by thy words thou should be condemned. Alright, like y'all had a brother asking me about what groups to listen to and what should you listen to when it comes to this truth. And I was telling him to only listen to GMS and the guys that follow the same doctrine. When it comes to watching videos, only watch them videos, and they'll keep you from getting jacked up. Alright, now, cause what confuses a lot of new people, and I had to learn myself, cause like I always tell people, like the first group I started watching was Watchman for Israel, and it just got to me that he couldn't tell me know what the mark of the beast was, but he could break down all the scriptures. But then went over and watched the Carter for a little bit, then finally started watching GMS. Alright, and now that's pretty much the only videos I could have watched, because all these other groups go off in some shape or form, and the reason why, they don't want to just stick to straight up what the Bible say. Alright, and so as somebody who's not a member of GMS but still go around teaching and telling everybody I meet the same doctrine that GMS teach, and that's because the doctrine that they teach is the doctrine of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Alright, now this is Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 14. Then the Lord said unto me, the prophets prophesied lies in my name, and I have sent them not, neither have I commanded them, neither spoken to them. They prophesied unto you a false vision in divinations, in a thing of not, in the deceit of their hearts. Alright, and that's what these other groups are going. If some don't feel comfortable, they don't like the way it sounds, they want to change it around, act like it ain't in the Bible. Because everything in this Bible, it ain't gonna be something that everybody wants to promote, but it's true, and there's nothing that we can do about it. The law and the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi are his words, right? And if we live the way he wants us to live, it's a more righteous way to live. Alright, because that is why so many of these groups are going off. Alright, now I'm gonna get Matthew chapter 7, and see where I want to start at. I'm going to start at verse 17. Matthew chapter 7, starting at 17. Alright, even so, every good tree brings forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree will bring forth evil fruit. Alright, so these groups that's teaching things the right way, in the ways of the Lord, is going to bring forth good fruit, and that's going to be pretty much GMS and people who teach the same doctrine as GMS, even though they ain't a part of GMS. Alright, a good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that brings not forth good fruit is hollowed down and cast into the fire. Alright, therefore by their fruits ye should know them. Alright, and you starting to see which groups are standing for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi by their fruits right now. Not everyone that says unto me, Lord, Lord, should enter into the kingdom. So not everyone that says unto me, Yahawashi, Yahawashi, should enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that does the will of my Father which is in heaven. Alright, because there's a lot of group calling on their name. I see what's the one, ISUPK, online teaching people to commit fornication and adultery, but yet they calling on the Lord's name. You know, they still ain't gonna make it. One body in Yahawashi, you know, is calling on Yahawashi, but it got him in the title of their group. Yet they believe Yahawashi did no miracles. I mean, it's just complete and utter madness. All right. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? In thy name have cast out devils, in thy name done many wonderful works. And then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. All right, so the Lord say he gonna tell them that he never knew them. Therefore, whoever hears these things saying of mine and does them, I would liken them unto a wise man which builds his house upon a rock. So that means you building your house on good foundation if you listen to the words of the Lord and does what the Lord say. Now we're gonna go over to Matthew chapter 9, and I'm gonna read verses 15 to 17. Alright, and Yahawashi said unto them, can the children of the bride chamber mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them? But the day will come when the bridegroom should be taken from them, and then should thou fast. You know, he was speaking of his being crucified right there. All right. No man putteth a piece of new cloth unto a old garment, for that which is put to fill it taketh from the garment, and the rent is made worse. All right. Neither do man put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break. Alright, my bad. Truck cranking up, charging the battery. Neither do men put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break, and the wine runneth out, and the bottles perish. But they put new wine into new bottles, both are perishable. Alright, let's see. Let's see. I guess killed it. Just charge the battery in a minute. Alright. So pretty much you can't come into this truth bringing Christianity into it, which is the problem you got with that group GOCC and IUIC. Alright. Because both them two groups, their problem is they trying to mix the truth with plantation Christianity and not the truth. The truth is the truth, right? It doesn't mix, you know. So they are putting that new wine into them old wine skins, you know. And then what did it say? Neither do men put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break and the wine runneth out. And that is what's happening to IUIC and GOCC. All right, they trying to mix Christianity with this truth, and it just don't mix. All right. Now, let's see. We go over to let's see, Romans, the 8th chapter, and I'm gonna start at verse 5. All right. For they that are after the flesh do mind things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, and to put spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against Yahweh, for it is not subject to the laws of Yahweh, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Yahweh. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the spirit, if so be that the spirit of Yahweh dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the spirit of Amashiach, he is none of us. So what this is saying, you know, you can't be carnally minded in this truth. And we know that is like groups like Sakari, biggest problem. You know, they looking at everything from a carnal mind and not a spiritual mind. All right. In the other groups, you know, they believe you gotta tow weapons and things like that to camp when you are supposed to be, you know, coming in a peaceful manner. All right. Now, it don't mean you got to get pushed around and nothing like that, you know, but you're supposed to be in the spirit, you know, in the spiritual form, and not looking at everything carnal, not trying to be rappers and things of that nature, all right, worldly things, because you know you could have had worldly success without coming into this truth. This is all about preparing for the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Alright? Alright, 10th verse. If Christ be in you, and the body is dead because of sin, but the spirit is life because of righteousness. But if the spirit of him that raised up Yahawashi from the dead dwells in you, he that raised up a Mashiach from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by the spirit that dwells in you. Therefore, brethren, we are debtors not to the flesh to live after the flesh. Alright, so we don't live after the flesh. For if you live after the flesh, ye should die. But if ye through the spirit be mortified the deeds of the body, ye should live. Alright, so pretty much we're supposed to be, living spiritually, alright, not after the flesh. For as many as are led by the spirit of Yahweh, they are the sons of Yahweh. Alright, so that is going into, and that is one of these groups' largest problem. Now, I say, like I said, I was looking at Sakari, and that's what turned me off that group, because you can see they're trying to live too worldly when you're supposed to be more on a spiritual level. Now, there's another group like Watchmen for Israel, and they could pretty much, you watch these brothers and they breaking down everything in the Bible and they know everything, but they can't tell you what the mark of the beast is or break that down correctly. That is a huge problem. And it's like certain things, it don't matter what all you get right. If you get something major like that wrong, it's all for nothing. Alright, this is Revelation chapter 13, and I'm going to start at verse 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man may buy or sell save he that have the mark of or the number of the beast or the number of his name. So this is letting you know that the mark is something physical, alright? It ain't philosophy, it ain't plantation Christianity or no other kind of religion. It's something physical, alright? Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding cut the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Alright, so it is letting you know, it's going to be something similar to a barcode or a social security number, but it's going to be put inside you. Alright, which is what it is going into. Alright, now we go over to Revelation 14th chapter, and I'm going to start at the 9th verse. And this is why you can't get this verse wrong. If you're getting the mark of the beast wrong, it don't matter what they preaching, how many corners they standing on, it's all for nothing. And, because you hear brothers say, just go out and preach the truth. If you're preaching the wrong thing, it don't matter. It's a complete waste of time. All right. This is Romans the 14th chapter, 9th verse. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receives his mark in his foreheads or in his hand, the same should drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with the fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. We know the Lamb is Yahawashi. Alright, and the smoke of their torment shall ascend up ever and ever, that have no rest day or night, who worship the beast in his image, and whoever received the mark of his name. And that's going into that thermonuclear fire, right? And they say forever and ever. That's just letting you know it's going to be, for a long time, but it ain't literally forever, right? But they're going to be tormented, all right? Here is the patience of the saint. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh in the faith of Yahawashi, all right? So it's very important not to get the mark of the beast wrong. If you got the mark of the beast wrong, pretty much everything else you're doing is really all for nothing. All right. Because I must go over to Deuteronomy, the 18th chapter. Alright, 20th verse. Alright, But the prophet which should presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that should speak in the name of other powers, even that prophet should die. So the Lord is saying, if you ain't speaking what the Lord has told you to speak, and you ain't learned to know the right doctrine to give out to the people, it's best not to tell them nothing yet until you're sure what you're learning, all right? And it's best to get this down first, then go out and teach, so make sure you're teaching the right thing. And that's what a lot of these groups didn't do, all right? Especially if you ain't teaching the mark of the beast correctly, all right? Now, I'm going to go over to Jeremiah. All right. 23. All right. Verse 16. Thus said the Lord of hosts, hearken unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you, that make you vain, that speak a vision of their own heart, and not of the mouth of the Lord. All right. So thus said the Lord of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you, and that make you vain, that speak a vision of their own hearts, and not of the mouth of the Lord. All right. So pretty much, if they ain't speaking what the Lord saying speak, it don't matter. All right. So the Lord is letting us know that anyone who speaks is supposed to speak what he said. So that's why I tell you, like, all these other camps that speaking all these weird doctrines are really just a complete waste of time, right? Because none of the things they speaking is making any sense whatsoever, right? And if you ain't doing it correctly, it's all for nothing. All right, this is Revelation chapter 22, and start at verse 12. Now I'm going to start at verse 14, go straight to the point. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they might have the right to the tree of life, and might enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, whoever loves and makes us a lie. I, Yahawashi, send my angels to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and offspring of David, and the bright and morning star. So the Lord said he sent the angels to give the right things for the prophets to teach and to speak, all right? So if they ain't doing it, the Lord is not dealing with them, all right? So that is what is wrong with a lot of these other camps, all right? This is John, 1 John, chapter 4, and I'm going to read verse 1 through 6. You know what? Let's see. I'm going to end it right there and probably come back with another.